Hey, welcome. Sometimes the simplest words have the most incredible stories to tell. Today, we're going to look at just one of them. It's a word you use all the time, but I bet you've never thought about how it's this amazing key that unlocks how our language works, from the super basic stuff all the way up to the most complex ideas. So let's jump right in.
All right, let's kick things off with a little thought experiment. How would you, really think about it, communicate everything you wanted to say, but you only had 850 words to do it with? Just 850. Sounds almost impossible, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you this wasn't just a game, but the foundation of a real-life system for communication?
Yeah, that system is actually called Basic English. It was this really ambitious idea, you know? The goal was to create a tool for people all over the world to communicate. They basically boiled English down to its absolute most essential, most functional parts. Now, the idea wasn't to replace English or anything, but to give learners everywhere a much more straightforward way in.
And guess what? One of those 850 core words is the one we're going to focus on today. It's the word increase. Now, I know what you're thinking. Increase? Kind of plain, right? Maybe a little boring? But trust me, its simplicity is exactly what makes it so incredibly powerful. Let me show you what I mean.
Okay, so this is where it gets really cool. The word increase does this little magic trick. It can be a verb, an action word, or it can be a noun, a thing. And the only thing that changes is how you say it, where you put the stress. So listen to this. The verb is increase. The noun is increase. Just that tiny shift in emphasis totally changes its job in a sentence. It's wild.
So let's take the verb first. The amount of money in my bank account is increasing. You hear that? It's all about the action, the process of growing. That stress on the second syllable, increase. It gives it this forward motion, this feeling of momentum.
All right, now let's flip it. Let's look at the noun. There was an increase in movie releases last year. Hear that? Increase. It's totally different. Now it's not an action anymore. It's the result. It's a thing, a specific amount of growth. The stress just pops to the front, and suddenly it's this solid concept. This is what I'm talking about when I say it's flexible.
Okay, so we've got it. Increase is a core part of this basic English system, and it's super efficient. It's doing double duty. But that might make you think, okay, so it's a beginner's word, right? Something you learn in English 101 and then move on from. Well, that's where this story takes a really interesting turn.
So let's just put it out there. Is increase just a beginner's word? I mean, it's on a list called Basic English, for crying out loud. So does that mean it's only good for, well, basic stuff? Is that all there is to it?
No way. Not even close. Just check out the credentials for this word. I mean, it's like its resume. So, yep, it's on the Basic English list. We know that. It's also one of the 1,000 most common words in the entire language. But here's the real punchline. It is also on the official academic vocabulary list. Think about that. This supposedly basic word is also essential for writing university papers and having high-level academic discussions. How cool is that?
And that's really the main takeaway here. The most useful words, the ones that are the foundation of our language, they aren't just for beginners. They're more like the load-bearing walls of how we communicate. They have to be simple enough for someone just starting out to understand, but also powerful enough for a top academic to use for their most complex ideas. In language, it turns out, simple and powerful aren't opposites. They're often the exact same thing.
So, that leaves me with one last thing for you to think about. As you go through your week, just pay attention. Notice the words you lean on the most. I think you'll be surprised to find that the real workhorses in your vocabulary are the simple ones. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other simple, powerful words are we all using every single day, just hiding in plain sight?